Okay, so Nana,
Mm.
where are you from and why did you move to Canada?
I am from a small village in South Italy. And I moved to Canada because my dad had moved here a couple years before, and my mom was coming to join him, and we all the kids came here with mom.
And were you excited to move here?
No, I was sad to move here because I was leaving all my friends behind, all my schoolmates. I didn't know what I was going to find here.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like everything was so clear in Italy, so bright in my mind, but I didn't know what I was going to find here.
Mm-hmm.
So it didn't look very, it seemed like I was seeing cloudy far ahead.
Really? Did you face any challenges when you moved to Canada?
Yes, it was very cold. We had to walk to school every morning, and it was quite a distance, and it was just unbelievably cold. Like in Italy, oh, whatever we were wearing in the house, we wore outside and went to school. We didn't have to worry about boots or heavy coat. But when we came here, we had to be very careful what we wore because as we walked to school, it seemed like our forehead was going to split in two. It was so cold.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. How old were you, Nana?
I was 14 and a half.
That's really young.
And my brothers and sisters, they were all smaller. I had to kind of keep an eye on them that we wouldn't get lost. We wouldn't lose the way back home and then we couldn't find it. And I always I told Uncle John and Uncle Pat to stick together and don't lose track of each other. But eventually we started to make friends and, you know,
Mm-hmm.
And we started belonging to a small circle of kids. There were other Italian kids that had come before us or belonged to an Italian family. Like my teacher told this girl that was born here from an Italian family to try to help me out.
Mm-hmm.
And with English, translate some words. But she really, because she was born here, she really didn't understand what my needs were, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And she was from North Italy, I was from South Italy. The accent, what do you call the dialect was different.
Oh, okay.
And we really didn't understand each other. But I looked up to her because to me she looked so pretty, like she was wearing makeup, and
Mm-hmm.
I didn't wear makeup. She was so dressed so nice. I was dressed so simple, and I felt a little bit humiliated, kind of.
Really? Why?
Because I didn't like my clothes. I thought theirs were prettier and happier. Mine were homemade. My mom had made my clothes, and I felt like I was below her, and so it was a little bit. The beginning was a little bit
Rough.
rough. Yeah, it was a little bit downwards.
Was there any like discrimination?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, there was. They like when it was recess time, they all ran and they went in their own little groups, and I was left behind by myself. I didn't
Really?
belong with anybody. I didn't speak English, so
Right.
I was alone. I didn't understand a word they were saying, and I was writing letters to Grandpa.
Oh, right.
Because I had met him there, and I kept writing letters. And then, to my misfortune, the teacher we had some kind of a lisp.
Oh no.
He didn't speak
Good English?
clear English. He spit all over your face, because and the words didn't come out clear. Some as if he had a balloon in his mouth. But after Christmas, like we came in November, and after Christmas, I didn't have to go back to school. My brothers and sisters went to school, and my dad opened up a grocery store, and he put me to work in that grocery store.
Oh, wow.
And it was pretty rough too, because he hired a lady from England to teach me what the items were called, and good thing that I picked up the pronunciation really easily, and I learned all those names pretty quickly.
That's good.
And then I learned the way how to get home on the bus and how to get back to the store, and I felt I had accomplished something, like I had this freedom that I could go back and forth from the store on my own on the bus. And then I had learned so many things in the store, like the names of the groceries, the canned beans, green beans. Every day I read those items and try to figure out what they were, because I had never seen canned goods.
Yeah.
We didn't have canned goods in Italy. Everything was fresh. But and sometimes too, after work, like 5-6 o'clock, everybody came home from work, and the guys would have to pick up something to bring home. Either their parents asked them to pick up things to take home, or they lived alone. I don't know what, but I remember this one time. That was a big challenge. I was so embarrassed.
Oh.
This one guy, he was so good looking, beautiful hair. And he said, "Do you have any ketchup?" And I turned red. I said, "Ketchup?" He said, "No, we don't have ketchup."
Aww.
And he said, "Oh, I bet you do." He said, and he grabbed me by the shoulder like this. He took me where the ketchup was. And I was so red.
Aww.
But I had the courage to smile.
That's good.
So we went back to the counter, and he paid for it and left. And that gave me an idea that I should look around in the store and learn more names and learn what they are and ask that lady what they were for.
So did that help you learn English then too?
Yes, yeah. And on the way home on the bus, I remember reading these words that had like 3 and 4 syllable, no vowels. Like Italian is full of vowels, you know. How can they read those words? What do they mean? What, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I was constantly with my dictionary in my hands and tried to remember those words, how they were spelled. I'd get home and I wrote it down, and then I find it on a dictionary. And it was still hard to say. I needed help to read it.
Mm-hmm.
And I wait for my brother, Uncle Harvey, to get home and help me spell it, to read it.
So
what it meant.
Did your siblings know more English than you?
No, Uncle Harvey did, because he came first.
Oh.
Yeah, and he was a fast learner too, and he learned English pretty quick. He of his group, he learned the English fastest of all. He spoke clear than anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
And pretty soon he was talking for all his friends.
That's cool.
Translating, yeah. Is that like any good?
Yeah, that is good.
Yeah.
Was there like a moment where you realized that like you liked Canada? Like, did you ever do you like it here? Are you glad you moved here?
I've never really been able to answer that question, because in my heart has always been split in two.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it here because I could see that my parents were able to buy more than they were able to in Italy.
Yeah.
In Italy, I remember we had to buy things a little bit at a time. Like even sugar, salt, we would buy a few ounces at a time, because they couldn't afford it. They would have to sell something else in the house. Like my dad worked with olives, trimmed the olives trees in the winter time, and then he got paid with oil.
Oh, wow.
You know, and he would have big jars, like big barrels full of oil. And if he could sell, let's say, a liter of oil, then he'd have a little money to buy a little bit of sugar
Oh, wow.
or salt or other little things that they needed.
Yeah.
But here, you'd buy a thing of a box of salt was 2 pounds. It lasted the family for a month.
Mm-hmm.
My dad would buy big chunks of meat, where in Italy he would buy, a little bit, enough for a little piece each,
Wow.
And I did have the smarts to figure that out. But my heart was back in Italy because I loved the little flowers you see on the ground when we walked, and the beautiful roses, the flowers. I missed the beauty, the sun shining on those pretty flowers, the beautiful colors. And I remember those colors clearly. And I remembered the poems that we were studying at school,
Mm-hmm.
and talking about those things, and the history that I had learned. We were studying history and geography, the various city and why they were beautiful, but like I hadn't seen them.
Yeah.
But the professor explained, city by city, why it was famous and why it was important for Italy. Like Milan was a commercial city where they had factories and made things
Mm-hmm.
of steel. They made the tires for trains and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But and I thought I'll never see
That again.
my country. Like I had dreamed of maybe one day go visit all these places. And I thought, no, I'll never see it again. You were here, this big Canada, and it seemed so big. That's another thing. That's when as soon as we landed
Mm-hmm.
and started driving in the car. I don't know who drove us home from the train. It looked so flat, like the sky looked like it was almost touching the ground.
Really?
It looked so big, wide, and flat.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't have any appeal. Like I don't know if you noticed in Italy, as you're walking,
Mm-hmm.
you're looking up. Have you ever?
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah,
noticing
because
that?
there's lots to see.
Because the sky is so high.
Yeah.
The streets are so narrow,
Mm-hmm.
and you gotta look up to see those buildings, and then you see the sky too, and it looks like a cupola, the sky.
Mm-hmm.
Where here it was so open and so big, and we thought, boy, is this Canada ever big? But
Yeah.
still, what had we seen of Canada? Just
Just
a drive from the station
Yeah.
to home. Yeah.
that's crazy.
And then there was a sign, "Welcome to Calgary," on 40th Avenue by the airport there. Are we supposed to describe this as a little girl or as now?
No, you can talk about like maybe how like you and Grandpa started. Yeah, like Loretta Homes and how you